Hello, this is Joshua, and today I'm going to be just showing how to make some simple light switches with array of lights and how to use interface to turn them on and off. So I'm going to quickly demonstrate how they work. So we have what doing. You can see it's a press it, it will turn on this blue light in the middle. And if I press this one, it would turn two red lights on either side. And then I can turn that off again. So you're seeing simply just toggle on and off. But it also can work with multiple lights. As well, I can shoot the lights to turn them on and off. So I'm going to now demonstrate how to build these lights. So first, in your blueprint folder, you want to go to your blueprints and get a blueprint class or actor, create this right, and then do the same again and get this time an actor blueprint and call this one blueprint switch. Before we edit them, I will write you to go to here again and get this time blueprint interface and to call this one toggling. And first open up this toggle one, and then your first up here you should have a function by default and name this the function toggle, and then add a new function and call this hovering. And this and you might have not seen that, so I'll have to demonstrate that again. So here you create new function and create one called toggle and then one called hovering. The purpose of this little blueprint interface is to allow you to communicate with different actors or different classes, and it's quite a flexible system to use. So now we got all the blueprints we need. I'm using the first person blueprint, which I recommend you using the same. So you want the first person blueprint character, and also you want to be able to turn off the light switches. The first person blueprint also come with projectiles. So first let's create the light. So here, get a static mesh, and you can use that arrow to use the static mesh as the root, and then attach a light to that static mesh. And for the purpose of this demonstration, I will use a cone. Just drag your light so it's outside the cone, and then you can just change the brightness to what you want. And then just put the light switches within your level. The lights, I meant. So I put one here, and then another one here, but this time I will make this one. You click on the point right there, you can just change the light color, so make that one red. And I click on this one and just make this one blue. So got a red light over here and a blue light over there. So I'm gonna go make two red lights and two blue lights. So open up your light again, go to your event graph, remove these, and first you want to get an event begin, and you want to set visibility here for the point light, and then drag from this new visibility and promote to variable and call this is turned on. And you can toggle the eye icon, which will make it instant editable, which is the same up there. And you compile that, and you can now set by default if it on or not. So if I leave that one on, only that one will turn on, as you can see there. So going back to this, now that is done, you want to go to go to your class settings, and here you should have interface panel and click add, and then search in the blueprint interface you made, which probably should be called toggling. Hit that, and then you compile. Now you can search the toggle event from the interface, copy that and set the visibility there again, but this time we want to also set the turn on. Plug that into visibility there, but get off that boolean and use a not boolean to reverse it, so we hit on it will go off, and you hit off it will go on. Compile that, and that you're right, done. Your next part will be setting up the right switch. In this case I use an arrow to help to know which direction the right is facing, and then use a cube for the static mesh. You can just search static mesh as well and find the cube through this instead. Just make it a smaller size, otherwise it will be huge. And then here you want to scroll down, you want to toggle simulation generate hit events, toggle that, and make sure your object type is will dynamic. Compile that, and then same as the right switch right before, click class settings and add your toggle interface. Compile, and now you want toggle again, and you also want hovering this time, so search event hovering, which it should be also from your blueprint interface. You will know it interface if it got this little icon on it. So from here, only one component missing. Need to add a text render and put this slightly in front around there and put that centered, so you know it hovering over it. And I'll call this something such as press E, so you know what key to press. And then go to your event graph, draft the text render and set visibility. And one part I missed out on the blueprint interface on hover, you just want to go down to imports and add a boolean, and then this hovering is hovering. Compile that again, and now I have this little boolean which I can plug into the visibility, so that will set the text to render if you are hovering over it. So with the toggle, you want to first go to variables, click add a variable and call this actors array, and then search actors and get object reference, and then click on this little icon and select array. Expose it to instant editable, and then drag it there, compile that just to be safe, and then search set toggle, which doesn't always show up, so what you have to do sometimes is untick the context box, and what you are looking for is this toggle message So you will see I have an all vector icon, and then you just plug your array into that. So this message will allow you to send data over to the target actors. Now that is done, just dragging your lightswitches into the stage. And also, just so your text not visible by default, just go to your text vendor and search this visibility and untick that. And now the text won't be visible by default. And on your default panel, you should add array and add your elements, which in my case I have 2 red lights, so I want 2 red lights. You can use the little eye drop tool to select them, or you also can select them from the drop down menu. So that is the red lights, which I will put on this side. And then the blue lights, which I will repeat the same process. And that is now done. So before carrying on, I'm using an extra input. So you want to go to your project settings and go down to inputs. Opening up your mapping and just create a use action. For example, I'm using E. You will need that for the next part. So open up the first person character blueprint, and here I'm going to get a event tick, and then we'll do a line trace. And you want line trace for objects, not multi-line, just a single line. And then drag your camera here and get it world location. This will get exactly where the camera is, and then you want to work out where the camera looking out how your reach distance is. So you want to get the forward vector, times that by a float. That will work out your reach distance. So I'm going to use 300, but you can feel free to experimentate with how far you want that to work. And then you add these 2 vectors together, and that will determine where you are seeing. So from your object types, you want to make array and set this as world dynamic. From this, you want to break, hit results, use blocking hit, and plug that into there. You also can use the return value from this, but either way works. And then just expand this and drag from hit and promote that to hit chapter. And plug that into true. And then you can collapse that again. So from here you want to drag off and search hover, and you should get hover message, and if it doesn't come up, turn off the context and it should show up. Then make sure it has the message in brackets and set that it's hovering to true. And then from here you want a is valid node. It's actually easier to drag it from the hit actor and do is valid. And plug that there. That will make sure it's safe to call it. And then grab your hover again, plug that into the is valid. And you want to make sure you targeting your hit actor, but this time as you're hovering false. And then the last thing to do here is to plug that in they set it to nothing, which will remove it. So compile that to make sure it's done right, and the last part will be just simply get your use event, your action input, drag your hit actor, and then search toggle message, and that's it for the character. So I go up to them, it will turn the blue lights on, and if I go up to the red ones, it will turn the red ones on. And if you would like to know how to use it with Projectile, just open your Projectile, and this is quite simple. You just drag from the other actor, toggle again, message, and that near enough it. Plug that in, and let's now work. So you can turn the lights on with your gun or with your hands. This method will also work with other blueprint site if you did this in the third person blueprint, but the first person blueprint has the advantage of having the projectile system already set up for you. And that is all, and hope this will help you out with your own projects. Thank you for watching.